Kate Wolverton, and I go by the pronouns she and her.
My name is Denise. My pronouns are she and her, and I am here to make an announcement that I am so excited about. As most of you know, and some of you may not, I, along with Bradley Benson, have been serving as interim CRE, Children's Religious Education Coordinator for the church. And Bradley and I have been in a volunteer role in this position, and we have had an explosion of growth since we've been in this. So I guess kudos to us, Bradley. We got a bunch of kids in, and they're coming back. And now we're getting ready to get some more kids in because, drum roll, we have just hired a permanent CRE coordinator, and I will have them come up in a minute, but just a couple of words. Teresa Latendress interviewed for the position, and we all loved her immediately. She and her husband Paul have been in Pensacola for 5 years. They've lived around the country, several different places. They have 8 kids, 19 grandkids, soon to be 7 great-grandkids. Teresa has a PhD in natural health sciences, and she's a naturopathic doctor and with a minor in botany, focused on herbs and plants. She has been a homeschool teacher, a private school teacher, and she served as a youth minister at a local church here in the community. So she has a lot of experience with children, and we are very, very, very lucky to have her here and on board. And we're also very fortunate to have her husband, Paul, so we get a 2-for-1 deal. Paul is a non-denominational ordained minister, and the two of them have jumped in head first since they started coming here. And I was even told they were going to become members even if Teresa wasn't selected for the position. So that just shows you where their heart is. They're our people, and we're so happy to welcome them to the family. If you guys could please stand up, let's give them a big welcome.
For those who serve, in honor of those who have served and those who continue to serve at home and abroad, for peace and in war, we light our chalice and we offer thanks. Cynthia Landrum. All right, at this point, I'm going to invite the choir to come up, and when they come up, I'm going to ask them to stay up during the the covenant and the next song. But come on up. We're going to do a Veterans Day recognition. We're going to be performing some service hymns, and the words will be projected if you want to sing along. What we're asking is if you or anyone close to you has served in any of the particular service branches, please stand up during your song so that we can recognize you. Thank you.
Till the battle's won and the army goes rolling.
Thank you, and thank you, all of you. I just have one more little thing I'm going to mention. Nancy Hagman gave it to me, and it's something to think about. A veteran is someone who, at one point in his or her life, write a blank check payable to the United States of America for an amount up to and including their life. Thank you for all of your service. I have other opening words also. If the only prayer we ever say in our entire life is thank you, that will be enough. That's by Eckhart Tolle. All right, now we are ready. Please stand if you're willing and able to join us singing the hymn number 162. We're going to lay down our sword and shield. Okay, please remain standing if you're able, and we will recite our UUCP covenant, which we've got a slide for. Okay. Love is the spirit of this church, and service its law. This is our covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. Thank you. You can be seated. We're going to have a video for the Time for All Ages, and it's called Tuesday Tucks Me In.
In the morning, every morning, my friend Louise wakes up to this. Rise and shine, I tell him with a lick. The sun is up, it's time. Okay, you're right. Hug first.
Please join me in singing the children out to their classes. Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the spirit of love surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go. Now we're going to have our offertory. There's a few of us who are going to be singing a song for you while we pass around the basket. So I have the pleasure now to introduce you to our speaker today, Ericka Streeter Hodge. And her theme is, You Don't Look Like a Marine. Ericka is now a intake specialist at a law firm. She is a published poet and author. She is the host of the Pensacola Poetry Open Mic, which takes place at the Subculture Art Gallery on V Street. And last but not least, she is a Marine. Thank you.
First, I like to thank the divine for the light that I am. I like to thank my ancestors for the life I have. You for being here to hear me. Thank you. And I like to thank myself for saying yes before I talk myself out of doing this. And who am I? My name is Ericka Chantel Streeter Hodge. I am the oldest and only daughter of Ronald Green. I am the second born daughter of Eunice Streeter Owens. I was born in Mobile, Alabama, and I have lived on the Gulf, East, and West coasts. I am my Aunt Shirley's butterfly. I am my daddy's princess. I am a chocolate-loving, poetry-writing, beach-bumming, incense-burning, hug-healing mother and grandmother of 3. Not as lean, I've never been mean, and I'm better than you think. I am a black woman, an overcomer of abuse, and I'm a United States Marine. I chose the title, "You Don't Look Like a Marine," because I heard it so often. I still hear, "You don't look like a Marine." And other inspiring phrases. How to be more than what others think of you. I probably should have added the part of how I became more than what I thought of myself. One of the things I heard often was adapt and overcome. What did that even mean? I understood that it meant to know I wasn't in charge of anything and that things can change at any time, requiring a pivot. Even if it meant a new duty or a new duty station. This also sometimes meant to adapt to behaviors and ways that were harmful or could be, or to adjust to things that seemed unreasonable and that could cost. It turned out that I knew a lot more about this than I thought when I left home. Where children might not be seen, your feelings didn't matter that much, and you did what you were told. The last part didn't happen so naturally for this Gemini daughter of an Aries. Not a big lesson in the adapt and overcome department until I put to use that training in rearing our children with the husband who had the absolute worst working hours. So with one child vomiting, another one wrapped around my leg, and another who probably could have talked Jesus off the cross, I had a lot of opportunities to adapt and overcome. One that I didn't particularly like hearing, I heard, "Sound off, Marine." I was told that many times. That was a tough one. That was hard to step into because I've been taught for so long to be quiet. Even as an adult, as a result of being in some of the relationships I had, I was taught to be quiet. Sound off, Marine. They wanted me to get loud, but only about the right things. But that's a story for a different talk on a different day. Generally, I am a soft-spoken person who is careful with my words. I do my best. I try to speak deliberately, even if it's flowery, and sometimes may be called clever. I'm not loud, but my words are strong. I wanted to sound off. I wanted to sound off in my own way, in my own strong voice. So on October 23rd, 2020, I published my first collection of poetry. That was a tall order for someone who believed she had a little voice that didn't deserve to be heard. I entitled it Soul Fire, Prose of Passion and Peace. The title itself engulfs so much of my way and my heart and my way of living. I learned to use my voice. It's through poetry that I told my stories and began to use my voice with the power as it was intended. Quick boot camp story, since we're in that spirit. It was a case where I was practicing how not to rat out your partners in crime unless it was a matter of jail time, because I'm not going to jail for anybody. So I got a few care packages in the mail from my mom. One of them, she'd smuggled in chewing gum and a box of tampons. I missed chewing gum. She filled the order, right? But of course, it was contraband. We weren't supposed to have it. So I showed the sisters around me in the squad bay. And so, everybody, took part in. So we're like, okay, cool, we got away with it. No. Drill instructor is walking through, and somehow a piece of one of the wrappers was on the floor. Situation. It's a situation. And so, of course, she's asking, who is it? Everybody's standing there straight face. We don't know nothing. But I knew that if I didn't fess up, everybody was going to get it. Everybody was going to get dug. It was going to be a bad day all day. So I fessed up. I said, this recruit, and, I paid. I paid dearly, and they pushed me. They dug me. They worked me out until my heart was about to pop. Because they can only go so far. They knew exactly when you were about to die. But the lesson in that was they knew that they could depend on me. I carry that. We share that story and we laugh. I'm in touch with several of my boot camp sisters, and that's been well over 30 years. You don't look like a Marine. What does that even mean? Never once have I heard a good answer. On active duty, I knew I'd never be the fastest runner or the best rifleman. I did my best and I never quit. But what was I supposed to look like? No one could tell me. Freshly pressed uniform, Spitzstein boots, and a pretty good strut to boot. I kept myself together. I thought I looked the part. Off duty, I was extra cute. I was fit. I had abs, not with that protective coating they have right now. So I had it. Lipstick and earrings and coordinated outfits. I thought I was doing it right. Side note, when I was preparing for today, I looked at a bit of demographics of military veterans. I came to the better understanding of something. We all know the Marine Corps is one of the smallest branches. We know that the African American population is even much smaller, and women are an even much smaller percentage. So basically, you're looking at a unicorn, okay? Basically. So I digress, but not really, because who knew what I was supposed to look like? Most importantly, why did it matter? And who was to say? I was a woman Marine, a WM, that's what they called us then, WM. Was a woman Marine supposed to be ugly or hard? I learned that to some male Marines, no matter my appearance, I'd always be judged harshly. To civilians, whom most had never seen a me, let alone met a me, They didn't know what to look for, I guess. But it happened all the time. It was a no-win situation. So I had to leave that behind me with those who didn't care to understand or be open to what was. And what was me in the frame, in the colors, and the light that I was and am. So, I'm a woman who's meant to be free and expressive in all the ways I naturally am, and ways I choose in and out of any uniform. That's what this Marine looks like. Boot camp story. Let me preface this by saying up until about age 12 or so, I was a bit of a hothead. Just a bit. But that was trained out of me for a while. So I thought. So we were in a phase in boot camp where the drill instructors would select each of us to see if we could be a squad leader. The responsibilities weren't long, but they were important to motivate, keep us, the little squad in line, to get us on line, so lined up in front of the Foot Lockers on time. Had to do that. And so it's my turn. I don't want to do it, but there's no choice. We had one recruit who was special. She was special. And it was time to get on line. She wasn't moving. She wasn't doing the thing. And so I'm the leader. I got to go make it happen. Old Ericka popped up. Little Ericka showed up, and I apparently I grabbed her arm to bring her to the front. And just like in the movies when it gets kind of silent and kind of echoey, and it sounds like you're in a drum. So I kind of space out just for a second. I don't really hear what they're saying to me. So my sisters are saying, "Streeter, let her go. Streeter, let her go." I didn't hurt her. I promise. But that fire came out in a situation where I didn't expect it. I didn't know she was still there. So the lesson in that for me was to know my limitations and don't let that hot-tempered Ericka take the lead in anything. So when I came up with this title, I had a plan, but through the writing process, I found that I was a little off. I was a little off because my life was really not about what others thought or think of me. It's been about overcoming who I believed I was. When I left for boot camp in August of 1990, I believed I didn't really have many life options. I was shy and poor and had a low self-esteem. I didn't know how to get into college, and it wasn't really my desire. I believed the stories that said I wasn't cute enough. My hair was too nappy. I wasn't an outstanding Marine. And later I was even told by men that I loved that I was stupid and that I was a bad person. I believed a lot of what had been said about me. These stories, these fables, even a little bit of truth. I've read a lot of books and stories too, all of which affected my way of thinking to some extent. But the stories that affected me most of all were the stories that I believed about myself. When I got tired of accepting less than I desired and less than I deserved, things began to change. When I saw that my world could revolve around me, things began to change. When I began to see that people cared about me, not for what I did or what I could do, but for who I was, things began to change. I began to understand that I got to rewrite my stories. I began to write Ericka as the main character and as the hero. I wrote my way through my dark days and my fights and my tears. I got to choose. I chose the stories worth believing in and the truths worth living by. I understood that I got to choose. Of course, having learned this earlier would have saved me a lot of heartache, but such is life. And I have a beautiful life indeed. These lessons that I practice adapting and overcoming. I practice sounding off. I practice writing and remembering my stories. I practice being proud of what I look like. Even in preparing to talk to you today, I struggled to write this speech because I had to remember who and whose I am and whose blood runs through my veins. Until I remembered that I am the daughter of Eunice Patricia Streeter, daughter of Charlie Bell Washington, daughter of Nellie Mae Horn, daughter of Mamie Christine Rhodes. I was not able to complete this writing. None of these women were military women, but surely I got my warrior spirit from them because they survived the fields, they survived the degradation of Jim Crow. They were victorious over illness and simply childbearing. I came from courageous women who knew how to do it scared. I was able to write this because I remembered with whom and for what I stand. I stand with the precious souls whose knees shake, whose tongues quiver and lose their words. I stand in the truth of who I am, even when that truth changes because I learn better. I will continue to adapt and overcome, sound off, and look like I look. There is no quit in me because there will always be storm. There will always be beaches to storm. There will always be hills to climb and service to be rendered. I will not quit. Only conquer. There is only conquer in this here United States Marine. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'd like to invite the choir up and invite you to stand as you're willing and able. We're going to be doing number 318. We would be one. It's in the gray hymnal. Spirit of love, war is never holy. Help us to remember that each of those who are called to service is a beloved soul. Be with us as we strive to create a community that is good and safe enough to welcome them home. Help their soul to heal, that they may know themselves to be holy and whole. So may it be.